A black silhouette stood perched on the ledge of a large building, a white mask covering half of her face to leave her mouth exposed. Her large, pointed ears twitched every so often as her long, fluffy tail swayed in the gentle breeze of Paris, France. She had fur an ebony black color, her hair the same with a few white highlights at the ends and in her bangs. As it came just below her hips, the gentle night breeze blowing it ever so slightly, her bangs swaying to the left as they framed the mask hiding most of her face. However, her mask looked more as if it belonged in a masquerade ball, though it suited her just fine. She wore a white crop top, the sleeves stopping right at her elbows, white short shorts, a black belt, white knee-high boots, and white gloves on her hands, a black rose symbol on the backs of said gloves, and another large one on her chest. On her left hip hung what looked to be a large cane. In its entirety, the color matched that of her ebony fur. A small smirk curved on her lips, her small fangs showing from under her upper lip. The Louvre, the most famous and popular museum within France, stood in all its glory, but soon it would weep beneath her feet. Sure, she would steal from other thieves, considering it's what she normally did, but every now and then she enjoyed stealing from popular landmarks just to see if Interpol could catch her in time. Showtime, she muttered in a beautiful French accent. She leapt off the building, the rush of the wind catching her hair as she dove down at the very last second. However, the fox whipped out the cane on her hip, hooking it to an outstretched pole as she swung before throwing herself onto a wire, gracefully dashing along it, leaping. She flipped through the air and landed on the building. She carefully slid the glass skylight hatch open before leaping in through the opening, but she quickly reached onto her right hip and pulled off what looked like a small gun, pulling the trigger as the end shot off of it rammed into the wall before she pulled the trigger again, yanking herself towards the wall as she hung before lowering herself down. Strapping the gun to her hip again, she pulled a small ball out of her belt, pulling the pin out with her teeth before rolling the ball on the floor and spitting the pin out. When it stopped, smoke leaked out from the tiny opening, clouding all around before she walked over to the glass casing in the center of the room. Opening the glass door, she pulled out the large black diamond before reaching into the white pouch strapped to her left leg. She pulled out her calling card. That was the same symbol as the one on her chest, setting it in the empty space before closing the glass door and putting the diamond in her pouch. As the smoke was clearing, she fired off the grapple and flew out of the skylight, flipping to land on her feet. Closing the glass opening, she gave a small smirk before quickly dashing off at almost inhuman speeds until, "Stop, thief!" Instantly, the fox stopped dead in her tracks before turning, a small smirk crawling up to her lips upon seeing an orange-colored fox before her shock pistol aimed right at her. She wore a blue, strapless crop top, a zipper in the center, blue, skin-tight jeans, red belt, tan combat boots, a tan jacket with the sleeves rolled up to her elbows, tan gloves, and a blue collar around her neck, a gold Interpol symbol dangling from it, matching the gold earring in her left ear. Her hair was long, curly, and a navy blue color, braided with some curly strands sticking out. Her lipstick was a bright red color, matching her red and yellow Interpol shock pistol. in her hands as anger and determination was clearly shown in her golden eyes. "Don't move, Black Rose." The black fox cleared her throat. "Miss Fox, what brings you around on this lovely night in Paris?" she smirked. "You've just stolen a very large and rare black diamond, and you've recently committed a murder. What do you think?" "Correction, I've simply done my job. If there are people who need to be taken out, I'm the one they call. It's still murder." "Yes, that might be true, but even so, I'm merely doing my job. So then I ask again, what brings you around this time of night, Carmi?" "That's Inspector Carmelita Fox to you, Rose, or should I call you Rico, Cecilia Vixen?" The other fox smirks. "I'm flattered that you know my real name, especially considering most don't, which begs the question on how much research you had to have done to find that information." "I like to do my research, and trust me, it took some real digging just to get that information." "I'm sure it did, but again, that didn't answer my question on what you're still doing here." "I'm catching no good thieves like yourself, that's what, and I won't rest until I catch you, Rose." "Feisty, or is it because you can't catch me or your little ringtail, Sly Cooper?" Red slightly tinted Carmelita's fur as she growled, baring her teeth a bit. "No, it's got nothing to do with him." The fox smirks. "So you say, but hey, whatever floats, Carmi." "It's Carmelita," she hissed. "I'm aware, but in case you haven't figured it out yet, I enjoy pissing you off," Ray chuckled, placing a hand on her hip as she continued. "However, aside from me annoying petty cops like yourself, don't you have a raccoon to go catch? Or, well, try to, at least. I'm sure Loverboy is anxiously waiting for his pretty little princess to try to bust him in action." The thief smirked again. Carmelita blushed a slightly deeper shade of pink, causing the other fox to chuckle this time. "Ah, so you do have a little crush on Cooper. How adorable." "I can see the headlines now. Interpol's finest officer and the most wanted thief going at it in a scandalous relationship. What a laugh," she chirped. "But that'll be our little secret just for you, sweetheart." She held her index finger up to her lips, winking, even though Carmelita couldn't see it. "Shut up. I don't like that damn raccoon. The only thought I would enjoy the most is putting you and Cooper behind bars." "Well, keep dreaming, Carmi, because that's never gonna happen, or at least not by your hands. Anyway, now then, as much as I'd love to stay and chat with you some more, I'm afraid I've got more important things to attend to, such as pawning off this lovely black diamond and catch up on some sleep. So until next time, I bid you adieu, Carmi." The fox then reached in her pouch, yanking out a small pin from one of her smoke bombs before throwing it down as it exploded, this time smoke clouding around the officer, who coughed while swatting the air to try and clear her line of vision. However, the Black Rose had already dashed off, Carmelita quickly firing off her shock pistol to try and hit the other fox. "And do work on your aim, will you? You'll never catch me shooting like that," she called, laughing in the distance as she disappeared in the night. "Vixen!" Ray leapt, grabbing onto a ledge as she slid the window open, crawling inside before closing it back, going further into the small apartment. The fox removed the utility belt around her waist, setting it down on the table, her pouch and grappling gun with it. She then grabbed her cane and spun it in her hands before leaning it against the table. Lifting her hand, Ray grabbed her mask, removing it to reveal her beautiful face and bright sky blue eyes. As she set the mask down, she then grabbed her black laptop and seated herself on her plush black couch. "Now, let's see what you're all about, Cooper," she said aloud, as she typed his name into ThiefNet. Several options popped up on him as she merely clicked on his profile. Sly Cooper, his species being raccoon, came from a long line of master thieves. His parents were killed when he was young, and he was put into an orphanage where he met his two best friends, Bentley the turtle, the brains, and Murray the hippo, or as he calls himself, the Murray the brawn. They form what is now known as the Cooper Gang, the second most wanted criminals in the world. Yes, second, right after Ray. That is, she is known all around the world by the name Black Rose. After scrolling and reading through Sly's file, Ray shut the laptop and set it aside, getting up as she headed for the bathroom. After taking a shower, she dried herself and got dressed in a blue spaghetti strap tank top with matching shorts. As she crawled into bed and curled up in the covers, but just as she was about to fall asleep, loud music boomed, making her growl. "I'm going to skin him alive and make boots out of it. That money-loving lizard is going to regret not letting me sleep once I'm finished with him," she hissed under her breath. Throwing the covers off, Ray stomped out of bed and threw her outfit on. She strapped her pouch and belt on, her grappling gun and cane. Next, once she gathered her things, Ray put her mask on before climbing out the window, shutting it back again before taking off towards the nightclub. "I'm going to make him regret ever meeting me and ruining my life," she hissed.